Hopefully you can hear us. Got us, Damon?
Hello.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good. We'll get started first with Tom Noy. Go ahead, Tom.
Damon, you've talked a lot on this call this year about being the smallest guy on the court when you played, and that didn't matter. How impressive has it been what Marcus Burton's been able to do? He's always the smallest guy on the court, but he's still been able to play well.
Now you said Burton, I assume South Bend Tribune.
Right. So you've seen
Right.
you've seen Marcus. You've seen him twice.
Oh, of course, I've seen him a bunch of times. Yeah, I think that he's done a great job, and he, really good off the bounce, and I think really shifty guard, and I think that's paid dividends for him, and Micah, allows him to play through mistakes as well, and I think that always helps. And in terms of explosiveness, I mean, you talk about most people talk about the guys that, get a lot of the publicity coming out as freshmen. But Burden, and there's another kid that we played at Mississippi State earlier this year, Hubbard. They kind of similar in terms of the bounce that they play with the pop that they play. Burden got major pop. Keeps you off balance. You just, you don't know whether he's, penetrating or he's going to shoot the three, but he does a great job. And man, you can.
Think, did it freeze on my end or is it just for everybody else?
I think it froze for all of us, Andy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was everybody.
Damon, thanks for your time.
No problem.
All right. We'll go next to Mike Barber.
Hey, Coach. In terms of what you've seen for your team in 3 of the last 4 games with victories here, what's come together, and is it something that you felt confident was going to come together at some point, or was there a part of you that thought, "Hey, I may have to wait a year to get there"?
I think guys are, they're becoming more comfortable with each other, and then I think they're talking more to each other. And I think, with a couple of them as well, I just feel like, the standard is kind of taking place. And I think that is helping them. And they've been locked in a little more since we actually played Wake Forest the last time, and I think that, we talked about some things after that game, and, we've been, we've been good at, we've been good ever since, even in defeat against Clemson, but I think we've been, with the exception of that game, we've been pretty good. But I just see the buy-in a little more, and I see guys connected a little more. And I think that's been the biggest thing.
I know it's been a little while since you played Virginia, but you do play them again in 2 games. You played real tight with them at your place, especially at the half. I think it was a 3 or 4 point game. What did you guys, if you can remember, do well in terms of Reese Beekman, and how much of Virginia runs through Reese Beekman?
Well, a lot of it runs through him. He's to me, he's like one of the typical point guards that Tony has had throughout his years. And, I say that because I was fortunate enough to coach Malcolm Brogdon when I was in Boston, being with Malcolm. And, Beekman is solid, and, he doesn't make too many mistakes. And, the thing that stands out about that game, playing them was at that time, a lot of people were saying that Virginia was struggling coming into the game and different things. And, in that game, I think that they found the rhythm, and they went on a run after that game. After beating us, they went on a run, and they really played well. But I think Beekman is definitely the head of the snake. He gets guys involved, really clever. He knows exactly what Coach Bennett wants, and he does exactly that directive out on the floor. And, really poised, older, so he does a really good job.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Go next to Connor O'Neill.
Damon, if I understand you correctly, the Wake game the first time around was a little bit of a turning point, or a rallying point. Does that give your guys a little more juice to get them a second time and in a way to prove how far they've come in the last month or so?
Well, we'll see. I just, my thing is that I'm a little different. So from the standpoint, I think college, it's like, you get beat, you 31 point, sometimes you say things, you do different things, and I don't take it, I just take it for what it is, right? The game was so bad, I just flushed it down the toilet and you just go on and move to the next one. And, I hope our guys do the same, but at the same time, remember, and it's a great opportunity. Wake is a really good team. They're a team that's coming in and they're really playing for something. And we have an opportunity to keep moving forward as a program. So two different stages of of what's going on tomorrow night. But at the same time, I think big games for both programs. And, Wake plays really well at home, obviously, and they're undefeated. And, I mentioned that to the guys. And, I hope that they remember, how the game was. And when I say how the game was, I don't think Wake rubbed it in. I just think they played really well. It wasn't like they were doing anything out of ordinary. They just beat us down. And so you got to remember those things, and hopefully that gives us more fight. Sprinting back in transition harder, communicating harder in transition. That was a lot of where the game was lost for me. We really got killed in transition. They made a lot of threes. We just didn't give a lot of resistance in that game.
Thanks, Damon.
Yep.
All right, last question comes from Hank Hurst.
Hey, Coach. So the NIT has altered its who it's going to invite to tournaments, and that could put you guys in play. Is that a good thing?
Hank, I've been in the league 1 year, and I know it's not a trick question, but I don't really, I don't, the way I feel about it, honestly, is that, if we won some games and we building on this, I would love to do something. But man, if if this, I don't want no charity. I'm not we're not a charity case here at Tech. You know what I mean? I don't want to bid, or I don't want to be in something I don't feel like maybe we deserve it collectively, but if we're playing well and we happen to finish the season out well and go into the tournament and win a couple games, 2-3 games, it makes a whole lot of sense. But there's a lot of teams in this league that could be deserving of that, and we'll just see how it all plays out.
Well, football coaches talk about the extra practice time, the extra time together. How much benefit would that give to you guys?
I think I'm more inclined to, as much as football, and granted, they got a lot more players than I do. I'm inclined to try to figure out what my roster gonna look like moving forward. I think I might want that time to dig up in that portal and see what's going on and kind of, figure everything out, but again, like I say, it just depends. It's a great question because I haven't been in that situation before, being that it is, my first year here at Tech. But we'll just see how it plays out. I mean, in terms of that. Yep.
How are you preparing for the portal?
How do I prepare? I'm preparing for it this year, no different than if I was the president of an NBA franchise. I need to meet with the young men face to face. For me, I don't want to just bring them on campus, and I need to go I need to go where they're at too. I need to look them in the eyes. We need to talk basketball. We need to have a shared vision. And if I miss out on a guy because I took too long, I'm all right with it. But I'd rather get the right guy than just any guy. So that's kind of how I look at it. I kind of have my type of guy. You know what I mean?
Damon, thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,